Good morning to all our Bearnaisla blog followers. This morning we find ourselves at Tex Restaurant in Los Angeles, located on Sunset Boulevard, and we are interviewing Pierre Truyoo of True Wines. He's a fellow from Bearnais, and we're so honored to have him here this morning.
I was born in Pau in the very early 50s.
Sauternes, Barsac actually.
Great Alsace wine, fantastic wine.
Maurice Saint-Denis, oh, Chablis Premier Cru.
My father was also from Pau.
J'ai rendez-vous avec Madame Claudine et Madame Greta.
And my own mother was from Les Landes. I'm a pure Gascon. And after baccalaureate, I went to Hotel University near Switzerland, in the French Alps, in Thonon-les-Bains, where I was able to learn and study this fabulous industry of the hotel and restaurant. That dream grew up in my mind, and as I was getting a little older, 14, 15, 16, I said, how am I going to get to America? I remember when I was 16 years old, I told my parents, I want to go find a job on a cargo and I'm going to cross the ocean. And I took a duffel bag with some clothes in. I went to Bordeaux and I knocked at every shipping company door and got kicked out of all of them.
Oh my God.
No, they said, no, you're dreaming, my friend. We're not hiring somebody to peel potatoes and just to drop them off on the other side of the ocean. That's not the way, that's only in the movies. I said, okay, well, all right. Throw the bag away, but I said, well, we'll find another way. My first job was working on cruise ships, and I worked as a captain in the dining room, and not a captain on the ship, which is basically a head waiter. And I became a maitre d' after that. The first 3 months I sailed in the Mediterranean, and every ship, cruise ship around the world, spend usually their winter in the Caribbean. The port of call, port d'attache, we say in French, was Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Oh, yeah. I finally had stepped on foot on the
American soil.
Yeah, all expenses paid.
That's the best way.
And we're home with money in the pocket.
This is good.
Plenty of dollars. But 2 years later, I did my military service in the Air Force, and that was another trip back to the U.S. And we used to fly from Paris to all the overseas bases around the world.
French bases.
French bases, as well as Tahiti.
Yes.
And to go from France to Tahiti, you have to stop in Los Angeles. I couldn't wear a uniform because we were on a foreign land, not in a time of war. So put the shorts on, or go rent a Mustang, and hit the roads of California and Nevada. Perfect. And then I went back to France, waiting for the next opportunity to come back to Los Angeles legally, yes. and for good. And that happens through a connection. A person that I met here was a person from the south of France, from Tarbes actually. And I had left my phone number, a local phone number here from a friend that in Los Angeles. And 2 years later, out of nowhere, this phone call came in through that person who had been contacted by somebody who was looking for a director for a restaurant. And to make a long story short, I was just in the process of buying a restaurant in Paris. I had only one last paper to sign the next day. And instead of going to sign the paper, I went to the airport and bought a ticket on the spot. I went with a suitcase, and 24 hours later, I was in the office of this man who became my boss. I can't believe you're here. I just heard about you yesterday, and you were in France. I said, yeah, well.
An opportunity now.
He said, yeah. He must have told me, these guys are really hungry. And after 1 hour of interview, he said, that was on May 28, 1978. He said, can you start June 1st? I said, you bet.
We have a wonderful display of wine here from the Bearn. Maybe you could describe for us the whole business of wine production in the Bearn.
A lot of the vineyards in France were started by the Greeks and by the Romans when they invaded the south of France, starting in the Mediterranean, and worked their way all through the southern part of France, all the way up into Burgundy and so on. And later on, the culture of wine was developed by priests and monks, monasteries, for first of all religious reasons and also commercial reasons. And with also the building of all the canals in the south of France, the transportation of wine became easier and easier, and got off out of the boundaries of certain specific tiny regions into the world. The English also helped a lot develop the export of and distribution of wine around the world through their conquests, through the colonization of foreign land as far as India and so on, and they would bring with them wines and cognacs and all products from the region. Two most famous wines from Béarn are, for white wine, the Jurançon, which our King Henry IV, whose chateau is in Pau, was baptized with. It was poured.
It's a wonderful tradition, isn't
yes,
it?
yeah, they pour a little bit of Jurançon on his tongue, and they also rub his lips with some garlic, fresh garlic.
Oh my goodness! And this leads to
very
becoming
traditional.
a king, right?
Yes,
Okay.
right. Yeah, and a good king too. In red wine, you find in the Madiran the grape, the most famous grape is Tannat, Tannat. Best Madiran, such as Chateau Adier here, are made 100% with Tannat grape. And otherwise, besides that, it's also blended. They blend usually with Cabernet, Cabernet Sauvignon, as well as Cabernet Franc.
Okay. And what are we drinking today?
This is a Madiran. This is a Madiran. We're drinking the blend, the Pierre Laplace from Chateau Adier, which is a blend of 80% Tannat and 20% of the Cabernets.
Well, Pierre, I want to thank you so much for this lovely interview, and I will say à votre santé.
Votre santé, and to all the young Béarnais who have dreams to come to America, don't give up. Your dream will come true.
Exactly. The wine is delicious.
L'anniversaire est beaucoup plus évident.
Ben,
Aux autres années.
j'espère aussi, hein.
Oui. Vous avez l'air si bien, alors ça va durer. Bernard, oui. Mais c'est si bon. Quand il y a l'occasion, il faut en déguster, voyons. On est ensemble.
50 ans de plus sur First Dex.
Non.
Merci.
Il ne faut pas exagérer quand même. Je ne sais pas.
Bon anniversaire, nos vœux les plus sincères, que la vie t'apporte beaucoup de bonheur. Oui, Bernard.
J'ai oublié. On chantait tout le temps avant.